Today, we're diving into a truly devastating genetic disorder and the incredible, groundbreaking science that's trying to rewrite its very code. This is the story of Tay-Sachs disease.
Just think about the blueprint for a human being for a second. It's written in trillions of lines of genetic code. But what happens when just one tiny, single-letter mistake in that entire code leads to an unstoppable, fatal disease? Well, that is the tragic reality of Tay-Sachs. So, what is it exactly? Tay-Sachs is an inherited neurodegenerative disorder, and those are the key words right there. Inherited and neurodegenerative. It means it's passed down through families, and its main target is the nervous system, especially the brain, causing it to just break down over time. And it all comes from a defect in one single gene.
To really get a grip on the science, we have to start with the human side of things. We have to look at what a diagnosis like this really means for a family.
And this is the most heartbreaking part of the whole story. In its most common form, Tay-Sachs starts in infancy. A baby is born, they seem perfectly healthy, they're hitting all those early milestones, and then right around 6 months old, all that progress just stops. And then it starts going backwards. They actually start to lose the skills they just learned.
The signs are just devastating. The child's muscles get weak and floppy. It's a condition called hypotonia. They can't set up on their own anymore. Seizures start, and an eye doctor might notice this one very specific sign, a cherry red spot on the retina. It's tragic, and this form is always fatal, usually by the time the child is 4 years old.
So what in the world is causing this catastrophic decline? To see that, we've got to zoom way, way in, from the baby's crib all the way down to a single nerve cell.
Okay, this right here gets to the absolute heart of the problem. In a healthy nerve cell, you've got a gene called Hex-A. It makes an enzyme called Hex-A. Think of this enzyme like a tiny microscopic recycling crew. Its job is to break down and clear out a fatty waste product called GM2. Simple enough, right? But in someone with Tay-Sachs, that Hex-A gene is faulty. The recycling crew, well, it never shows up for work. So that fatty waste, GM2, just builds up and up inside the nerve cells until it becomes so toxic that it literally chokes them and destroys them from the inside out.
And the severity here is just stark. I mean, look at this number. In the most severe infantile form of the disease, patients have less than 0.5% of the normal enzyme activity. The cell's entire recycling system is pretty much at a dead stop, and that explains the rapid, devastating progression.
But here's a really crucial point. Tay-Sachs isn't just one single thing. The amount of working enzyme a person has actually determines when the disease hits and how hard it hits. It really exists on a spectrum.
So we've talked about the infantile form, with basically no enzyme activity. But then there's a juvenile form. It shows up between ages 3 and 5, and here patients have a tiny bit more enzyme activity, but it's still minimal. The progression is slower, but it's still fatal, usually by age 15. And then you have what's called late-onset Tay-Sachs, or LOTS. Here, symptoms don't even appear until adulthood, because these individuals have between 5 and 20% of normal enzyme function. The symptoms are different, but with good management, their lifespan can be close to normal. It all just comes down to how much of that cellular recycling crew is still on the job.
So for decades, scientists have been in this fight against this cellular sabotage. The quest for a cure has been this long journey of brilliant ideas, really frustrating setbacks, and just relentless persistence.
The first idea was super logical: enzyme replacement therapy. If the enzyme is missing, hey, why not just inject a working version into the blood? The problem was this massive biological fortress we all have called the blood-brain barrier. It protects the brain, and it just would not let that big enzyme molecule through. So next up was substrate reduction. Thinking was, okay, if we can't clean up the waste, maybe we can just make less of it. But drug trials failed to stop the disease's progression. Then, researchers tried using small molecules to help the patient's own faulty enzymes fold correctly and do at least some work. But again, the benefits were just temporary and there were side effects.
After decades of basically hitting a wall, a literal biological wall, the scientific community realized they needed a totally radical new approach. Instead of just managing the downstream effects, the goal became way more ambitious. Go back to the source and fix the faulty gene itself.
So how does this even work? Well, first, there's a pretty unique challenge. The Hex-A enzyme is actually made of 2 different parts, an alpha and a beta subunit, that come from 2 different genes. You need both to be working. The solution is to use a harmless disabled virus. Think of it like a biological delivery truck. and you package the correct genetic instructions for both of those subunits inside it. Then, to get around that pesky blood-brain barrier, you inject this package directly into the central nervous system, delivering the brand new, correct code right where it needs to go, to the patient's nerve cells.
And the potential here is just enormous. Because this therapy provides both the alpha and the beta parts, it could treat not only Tay-Sachs, which is caused by a problem with the alpha gene, but also a very similar, equally devastating disease called Sandhoff disease, which is caused by a faulty beta gene. One therapy for two diseases. That is an incredibly efficient and powerful idea.
And I want to be clear, this isn't science fiction anymore. This is happening right now. The science is moving from the lab into the real world, and it's offering the first real glimmer of hope for a disease that everyone once thought was completely untreatable.
In 2021, the first ever human clinical trial for a Tay-Sachs gene therapy officially kicked off. This trial is looking at the safety and the effectiveness of this two-gene approach. For the very first time, we aren't just managing symptoms, we are actually attempting to correct the fundamental genetic mistake that causes this disease in the first place.
And that leaves us with a really profound final thought. The fight against Tay-Sachs has pushed science to its absolute limits, forcing all this innovation. So if we can successfully learn to rewrite the code for a disease as complex and as fatal as this one, what other genetic sentences are we on the verge of being able to edit? The future of medicine might start to look very different very, very soon.